Good morning. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you are all doing well. My name is Tiffany Almeida. I'm with Pretty and Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I go live every Sunday for Coffee and a Card. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I look really tired, but I swear I'm not. Bad lighting. We're going to blame it on bad lighting. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi. Thank you so much for joining me today. Good morning. Hello. All right, so we've got fun stuff in store for you today. I'm excited. My door prize is going to be using the StreamYard giveaway tool again. So you can see at the bottom of the screen where it says comment with the hashtag sweet citrus. If you do that, you're going to be entered in for a door prize. And the door prize is one of my class kits. It's a $40 value. It comes in this cute package. It has $20 in product, 8 make and takes, a full PDF and tutorial with YouTube video links. I team up with Ashley Pfeiffer from Canada every month. So there are 4 different projects, 2 of each. $40, you guys. So that's the prize this week. And this one is using the, I always forget the name of this bundle. Love for You, I think is called. Anyways, this is January's kit. I had one extra, so one of you lucky people is going to get it. So hashtag sweet citrus to be entered. We'll do a drawing at the end of the live. Thank you. Thanks, Jamie. So if you guys saw me last time, I had dark brown hair, and that was kind of step 1 of 2 steps that I wanted to get done. So I went back for some highlights. You can see some blonde put back in because that was way too dark. I needed it to be broke up. And then I was like, let's do some bangs and some layers around my face. So here's the result. I'm loving it. My hair is a little bit oilier than it would normally appear to be, and that's because I'm doing some coconut oil treatments on it. So it is a little bit oily, but anyways, I love it. I'm having fun with it. Yay, Chris. Thank you so much. I love Creativity Delivered as well. It's one of my favorites. All right, so we are going to be using a set or bundle called Sweet Citrus today. So I want to move this over here so you guys can take a look at this really cool sweet. It's not a sweet, it's a bundle, but it's a special bundle. Let me show you why it's so special. So I'm actually going to pull out the catalog for this one, and we are going to find Sweet Citrus. What page is that? Page 49. So let me show you why this I keep saying that, this bundle is so special. This bundle comes with a stamp set, dies, and an embossing folder. And the embossing folder is called a Sweet Citrus Hybrid embossing folder. So the bundle for $49.50, you get all 3 items. Dies, this really cool embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and then the stamp set. And I'm going to show you why it's called a hybrid embossing folder, because it does 2 steps in one. You can actually layer your dies. We're going to do this today, but I just want to show you. You can actually put your dies in your embossing folder, and it will emboss and cut the cardstock at the same time. Okay, so I want to show you this. Let's go ahead. Well, okay, let me back up. I'm going to do this in order, but so we are going to make 3 projects today using the Sweet Citrus bundle, which I absolutely love. Again, page 49 of the mini catalog if you want to find out where that's at. We actually have 3 different hybrid embossing folder sets. We have the Friends Are Like Seashells embossing folder that coordinates with the dies, and it's a hybrid, meaning you can cut it out and emboss it at the same time. And then the second one is a new one in the in the annual catalog. Oh, and my annual catalog's in the other room. But it's like a leaf set. It's on page 77 of your annual catalog, or page 177 of your annual catalog. And it cuts out leaves. It's a nice one too. Okay. So I wanted to show you 3 projects. The first one I cased from the artisan, and she made coconuts out of the citrus, out of the oranges or lemons or whatever. I feel like you could make several different fruits from this set. You know, you've got your grapefruit, you got your orange, you got your lemon, you got your lime, and now you've got a coconut, which I'm going to show you guys, which is so fun. And I did change it up a little bit. I added some different greenery, some different flowers. I put in aloha here because you need aloha with this coconut Hawaiian themed card. I also used vellum where I think she used fabric. So this is one of the artisan designs, but I love that you can turn this into a coconut. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So that's my first card. The second one comes straight from my bunko last night. I cased this off of Pinterest. I wish I would have wrote down the person's name, but I forgot to. But I loved the color coordination. And so this is just gorgeous. This, you can totally see the embossing folder at work here popped up in the background. We're going to use our blending brushes, and we're going to kind of combine our ink. I'm going to show you guys how to pull in other colors into your oranges or your grapefruit or whatever you want to make them. So that's second card. And then the third card, or the third project, is actually a hand sanitizer. And I had to make a margarita themed one because it's Island Margarita hand sanitizer. So I made a little pocket back shadow box holder and used the lemon or the sweet citrus bundle to say sending you a big squeeze. And then I just combined it with the Nothing's Better Than bundle, because you got the margarita and you've got the big word that says cocktails. And yeah, so I made a little margarita gift that you could give on a birthday or just a girls' night or something fun like that. Okay, so 3 projects. We're going to start with this one, and I want to show you how this hybrid embossing folder works. Okay. Oh, thank you, Chris. I'm absolutely loving them. Okay, so we've got the base is basic black, which is pretty straightforward, right? And I'm just going to burnish this. Okay, and move this out of the way. Now, one of these, I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white, and we are going to emboss this. So we're just going to straight emboss it using our embossing folder here and run it through our machine. So let's go ahead and do that. I feel like my camera is really close to the workspace here, so it's going to be a close-up of my machine. So bear with me. Janie's over here singing. Yay, Donna! Welcome. Terry, I'm loving this set. It couldn't be better. I'm in love. All right, so let's go ahead. We are going to use our handy dandy blending brushes. And I have some Amazon blending brushes, but I also have some Stampin' Up! Blending brushes. You can see the size difference, and the handle is a little bit thicker on this one. I'm also just barely getting out my little Stampin' Up! Blending brushes stand. And you can see through the side here, it's supposed to hold into this little notch. It's got little non-skid stoppers on the bottom. And I thought, well, this is nice. Because I need 3 different blending brushes today. So I just kind of put them in my little stand over here off to the side. So I have them, and they're not getting ink and dirty on my work surface. So, okay. So 2 colors of ink to get this pretty background. We are going to be doing a blending technique to bring in 2 different colors. So I chose Melon Mambo. I'm sorry. Mango Melody, and Melon Mambo. Okay, so these are the two colors that I picked for this. And I just took my blending brush. So I've got a pink blending brush. This is the one I reserved for pink inks. And I'm just going to come in from the top in circle motions and bring that ink into the card. You want to be careful and start on the edges and bring it down because you don't want there to be big blotchy pieces of ink on your cardstock. So get those big smudges off onto your scrap and then blend in. And I love how detailed this embossing is. It's just so cool. And I like that I'm getting more for my money, right? So this bundle not only comes with the dies and the stamps, but it also comes with the embossing folder, and it's a pretty decent price for all three, $49.50. And you're 50 cents away from getting a free Celebration item, which Celebration is only good through Tuesday. Celebration ends, you guys. So that amazing starter kit special that I've been harping on for the last 2 months, that goes away on Tuesday. So if you want to get an amazing deal on your product, like you have a big wish list of all these things you want, get the starter kit because it's an insane deal. $175 of product for $99 in free shipping. I mean, how can you, that's $75 of any product you want for free. You're going to get $175 of product that you want, but $75 of it is going to be absolutely free to you. And you don't pay shipping. Shipping's like 11% or some crazy thing like that. So you're saving that as well. And then you get a discount on all your future orders because now you are considered a demonstrator and you get everything earlier and you get your discount of up to 25% off all of your orders. And you don't ever have to go to a craft store to get your supplies. They just come straight to your door. So it's kind of a no-brainer in my mind. Plus, you get to be on my team and I get to spoil the heck out of you and have fun with you. It's a lot of fun. And you don't have to sell a single thing. Most of my team members who took advantage of the starter kit do it because they want their own supplies at a discount and they want to be part of my family, my Stampin' Up! Family. Nothing else. They are not selling anything. They are not having to do classes, nothing. It's really a win-win. All right. So there is my background. Okay. So I went at the bottom with Melon Mambo. I'm sorry. I keep doing this. Mango Melody. And I went at the top at Melon Mambo. Okay. So half and half. And you kind of want to blend in the middle a little bit. So there's our base. And I love taking these bright colors and popping them up against a basic black background because that black just helps everything pop. Okay. So we're going to set that aside for now. Oh, I'm so excited. Now we're going to get into the hybrid part. Okay. So we're going to take a piece of cardstock and we're going to stamp. Now this stamp is a two-step process. Wow. Why can't I talk? Okay. You've got the rinds. Think of this as two different pieces. You've got the rinds of the citrus and it's all combined into one stamp, which is really nice. It's convenient because you're going to get 4 fruit out of one stamp. Okay. So here's the rinds. So usually rinds on a fruit are a little bit darker than the inside fruit. And with this size of a stamp, I really recommend using your ink pad to ink up your stamp rather than the other way, because I was watching people at Bunko really struggle with this because it's like it sticks and then they're trying to get their fingers under there to get the ink pad off. And it's just easier to grab the ink pad, lay this down face up and dab away. Okay. So this is Mango Melody. Keep doing it. Mango Melody. And I ink that up, but I want to add a little bit of pink into my rind. So I'm going to take a little sponge dauber on my finger here. And these come in packs of 5 through Stampin' Up. So you can get a whole pack of 5 and just dab in some of your Melon Mambo ink, and then you can just kiss. I call it kissing because it's like daubing. Dab, 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 right? That's why it's called a sponge dauber. And you're just going to add in some of your pink, and it's going to kind of make a two-toned rind, okay? Yep, the Stamparatus is the exact same method, right? Face up stamp, ink pad onto the Stamparatus plate, and then stamp your image. So it's exact same philosophy here. All right, so I'm going to stamp like so. And I'm doing this because I want to conserve some of this paper for the leaves that we need to stamp. So I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and stamped. And you can't really see the pink, but it's there. It just kind of takes the tone a little pinker, but you're really going to see it on the inside stamp. So the second layer to this is the inside. I'm going to leave this open. The second layer to this is going to be the inside of the stamp, which looks like this, right? The inside of the fruit. And I'm going to stamp it in Daffodil Delight, which is, you know, a yellow. So it's going to be a little bit lighter on the inside. And then I'm going to go back over it with the dauber and the pink, the Melon Mambo ink. So I'm going to put this on the back side. I'm going to take this off so you guys can see better how we align this, okay? So it's going to align, you're going to figure out where it goes in all 3 stamps at the same time. So the nice thing about this being photopolymer is that you can see through it. So we're going to grab Daffodil Delight ink. I get Mango Melody and Melon Mambo mixed up every single time I say it. I cannot, for the life of me, get those 2 correct. So thank goodness I'm using both of them. So I can just say both of them in whatever order and not have to worry about it. All right, so I've got pink ink. This is the Melon Mambo ink, and I'm going to kiss my stamps. Huff to reactivate the ink. And then line that up as best you can. Now, this is the nice thing. Like if you were going to use a Stamparatus for this, the nice thing is if you don't get a perfect stamp the first time, you have multiple chances because it'll line right back up where it goes. Okay, so see how you get the different tones? This could be, you know, you could make a grapefruit, you can make a blood orange, you could, you know, sometimes oranges or citrus aren't always the same color. All right, so now we are going to do the exciting part. I'm excited. Okay. We are going to run this through the embossing folder and the die at the same time. Okay. So we're going to line up our die. Now, this is how I want you to remember the way that this goes in here. So Stampin' Up! Logo. See that black Stampin' Up! Logo? It's only on one side of the embossing folder, the top side. Okay, so the top side is where your die is going to go. And it's going to fit into these kind of grooves, these edges of the embossing folder. So you want to find where it fits and where it's circling these 4 fruit. Okay, now this is the tricky part because you've got to see through the embossing folder. I'm not grabbing the bottom yet, but see through the top, hold your die in place, and then bring your paper in while you're holding the die and line up your fruit through the window. Okay, you're going to do the best you can. And this is the fun part. It's going to die cut and emboss this at the same time. So then we're going to take our machine. And I'm using the regular base plate, not the magnetic plate. And I'm using my little adapter plate. I think with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's a gray plate. And you'll just run this through. That's it. That's the sandwich. Base plate and gray plate and the embossing folder and die in the center. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. You get this most beautiful textured embossing all the way down to the peel. Like the rind of the citrus is embossed. All of the wedges within the orange are embossed. It just looks so cool. Absolutely love it. And then we need to stamp and die cut our leaves, which we'll do on some of the scraps here. Isn't that the coolest thing? I'm totally geeking out over it. Okay, so for the leaves, I'm going to stamp with Parakeet Party because it's a nice bright green and we got bright colors going on. So we're going to keep that running through this whole thing. So I'm going to just stamp two sets of leaves, I should say. Okay, and then we'll die cut those. And the really cool thing about these dies is that they have 2 sets of leaves and 2 sets of flowers. So you can cut out a lot of flowers at the same time. Now I cheated on this card. I actually did not stamp and die cut the flowers that come in the set. They look like this. I didn't do this one. I actually made it super simple on myself and I punched them using a different punch. Using the new punch that coordinates with the Petal Park. It's the Petal Park bundle. So I use this one just because it's, you know, I will always, you give me a choice, I am pretty much going to pick the punch over dies anytime because I am a girl that likes convenience and quick and easy things. So I'm going to punch a small flower on a melon mambo. I had it right the first time. Every time I think melon, I think it needs to be the orange, and then I get confused. Okay, so I have a scrap of Mango Melody, and I don't know why I can't associate this orange with mango. It should be very simple. Mango is orange, but I can't. Okay, there we go. So I've punched out some flowers. Now this is an old little trick here. It's not even a trick. But to make your flowers 3D, take your piercing mat and take your piercing tool, and you're going to take the back side of it, and you are going to take your flowers and you're just going to push in the middle of your flowers, and you have made yourself 3D flowers. Easy peasy. Okay. So I showed that to my Bunko gals last night, and I think they were or not last night, Friday night. And they were very happy to learn that little trick. Okay, so we are going to die cut our 2 leaves here. And so we need to change our sandwich back. I always use the magnetic plate. I know there isn't one for the stamp and cut and emboss machine, but I like to use my Sizzix machine because of that magnetic plate. So I need to find some room here. Running out of room, quick. Okay, so we're going to die cut these leaves, and then it's assembly time. Run those through real quick. Good morning. They do look so real, right? I love the reality of these embossing. Okay. And then for me, like anytime I can go with bright colors, I'm a happy girl. Give me bright colors and I'm super happy. All right, so here's our final result. And this is what we've got so far. Let's go ahead and create our little sentiment just using a strip of basic black. And this is a Have a Zesty Birthday. So you just need a scrap of basic black. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. Probably about 5/8 of an inch is all you need. 5/8 of an inch by, what is this, like 3.5. Okay. And we're going to use our embossing buddy and our heat emboss. And we're going to do this in white. So embossing buddy, always use Embossing Buddy on dark colors. Always, always, always. And always use tweezers so you don't burn your fingers, okay? And then we're going to get the stamps that says, have a zesty birthday. Isn't that cute? I love puns, you guys. I am a sucker for a good pun. So anytime that a stamp set has a pun, you bet I'm going to be using it. Okay, the Embossing Buddy, if you don't know, takes away the static on the paper. So it's going to help just your embossing powder to stick to the Versamark ink and nothing else. Okay. So ink that up. And now we're going to do our embossing powder. This is where your tweezers are going to come in handy. Pick up your piece of paper, get a little tray or a Tupperware or whatever you have. The lid to a Tupperware will work sometimes too if it's got a nice lip to it. Tap that off, and then we're going to heat set this. Well, don't take your tweezers off actually, because don't want to burn your fingers. And then tap the excess powder back into our tray. Now this is a retired tray. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore, but someone was so sweet enough to share with me, give me one of their trays, and that was like made my day. All right, heat set time. Now you can go at this underneath or you can go over the top. Some people believe that if you do it from the bottom, it will not blow any powder away. I have not really noticed a difference myself, but you can do it either way. Okay. So we have everything we need to do this now. So I'm going to just, you can take a punch, a banner punch. You can take your scissors, but just want to banner the end. And I always turn it so upside down so I can see my words through the opening. And I'm like, oop, nope, I don't want to cut there because it's going to punch off my words. So I always just, that's how I do it. I always do it upside down so I can see. All right. Now, I like to make my banners wavy whenever I can. So I'm going to use my bone folder and I'm going to make my banner curly. So I go out with the end, right? So up towards me with the end, towards me on the back side in the middle, and then again up at the end. So that's going to create this nice curvy, looks like a little worm. All right, it's time. It's time, folks, to put this bad boy together. So I'm going to use my liquid glue. Look at that embossing. I mean, that is indented, for no joke. Like, that is just as indented as it gets. And it didn't tear the paper. I didn't have to do anything special with the paper to make sure it doesn't tear. It's just perfect. Yeah, Janie, Terry, and Eva are on Facebook, but if you're not seeing their comments, then they are probably on a different Facebook. So I don't know if you're on the page or if you're on the group. So there's two. There's a Facebook page and the Facebook group. And I go live on all three. I go live on Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube all at the same time. So I've got comments coming in from all different places. So I like to add Wink of Stella to my pretty much everything. So I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella brush and just kind of brush some sparklies, some glitter. It's like a glitter pen, basically, is what it is. I know you can't see it from here, but I promise you it is there. And we are going to adhere. We're going to do some layering. So my first one, my biggest one, is going to go down first. Just going to put some adhesive on the back of that and then just glue it down right about the center almost. And then we've got to do our banner, and I'm going to do the banner just on the tip, on the pieces that I want glued down, right? I don't want the middle glued down because then it loses its wavy effect. So just about like so should be good. You want it to fit in the envelope, right? Without getting crunched, but you still want it to have a little bit of curve. Okay. So you can see it from the side. I left some curve in there. All right. Now these two are going to be popped up on dimensionals. This one's going to be glued flat down, but I'm going to take my liquid glue, and I like the bumpy side. I want the bumpy side shown. Oh, we got our leaves too. Don't forget about your leaves. Let's tuck the leaves back behind here and put it right about there. It really doesn't matter. You're just going to basically layer up these lemons or limes or oranges or fruit, whatever. And you are going to pop them up on dimensionals. And let's get our last leaves there. And so we're just going to put them on over top just to hide the end of the banner underneath. Like so. And then we're going to add our flowers. Trying to get some of this cleaned up. And I'm just going to use glue dots for my flowers. Oh, stuck to my finger. How weird. Okay. So one of the big flowers right here, and then this one right there, and then this one down here. Okay. So I've got my flowers there. And then let's take some embellishments. Now I used last night I used the In Color, the Parakeet Party dots. These are the color matte decorative dots. But you can see here, my whole crew used up all my green ones. So I'm going to have to use my Sweet Sorbet ones, which are really light. They're like a nice light pink, which I think will go really nicely. So I'm going to use my big dots for the big flower and then the little dots for the little flowers. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So there's my flowers. And then, of course, more Weka Stella on the flowers. Because you can never have enough glitter, 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 bling, bling, bling. Right, Terry? Never have enough bling. Cute. And then for the inside, which I'm not going to show you, but I just stamped, enjoy the sweeter things in life for the inside. But I'm going to skip that part for this because I really just wanted to focus on the embossing. Now you can see this one last night, I didn't have them do that. I just had them stamp and die cut, but I really wanted to show you how cool it is to get all four stamped and embossed at the same time. So you can see the difference here, the texture here versus no texture there. See that difference? Very, very, very cool. I absolutely love this card. I love the bright colors. This is a perfect birthday card for one of my friends. Super excited. Okay, next one is my coconut. Now, this is the first attempt I ever did at making coconuts. So I'm not happy with how dark the center of that coconut came. So I have some more careful techniques for this go around. But let me show you how we made this, okay? This is definitely a lot of work. And it's going to be a card of love, right? A labor of love for someone special. And there's also a lot of dies being used for this. There's two different dies that are outside of this set. You've got the Alphabet a la Mode dies, and you've also got the contoured, I forget the name, what is it called? Scalloped contour dies for the border. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab that since I have it out. We're going to be grabbing this big frame here, and we're going to die cut out of vellum. This is just going to soften the embossing in the background. And then we need to emboss a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4 with our Sweet Citrus embossing folder. So let's go ahead and die cut this, and then I'll switch out the plates. Let me clean up after myself a little bit. We're going to switch out the plates in a second to emboss that piece of basic white. So there's that. I can put these dies away now, the contour dies. Because the less stuff on my desk, the better. All right, so for my embossing plates sandwich, again, I have my regular base plate. I know you guys can't see it, but regular base plate, embossing folder, and basic white cardstock. And then the blue plate or the gray plate. It used to be a blue plate when we used to sell the Sizzix machines, and now it's a gray plate. Okay, I need to take a break here and have a sip. Okay, I felt a little dizzy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is blend the edge. We're going to do some blue to kind of pull in that blue color. So I've got another blending brush, and this time we're going to use Tahitian Tide ink. And we're only going to be blending the left side. So ink up our blending brush and pull from the left side. And I'm just, the goal is to create kind of a U shape. Okay, so darkest on the edges. And I like going in a circular motion. I feel like that's the best way that I have found to apply the ink in a nice even fashion. So dark on the edges in a kind of U shape. Like so. Okay, you can see I'm kind of pulling that blue down into the sides there. Okay. I'm going to remove this banner because I feel like sometimes I get out of frame a little bit. Okay, so there's my blue. Okay, nice and dark on the edges, blending lighter into the center of the card. All right. So there's our blue. Now let's go ahead and stamp our coconuts and our leaves, and we're going to get those colored. So we're going to use the rinds again, and we're going to only focus on these two pieces here. We don't need the inside stamp for this one. So these two here are the only ones we care about. And we're going to use Early Espresso ink, okay, for the outside. That's going to give us our coconut husk. Coconut husk. So just inking up, and I guess it would have been wiser to do what I told you guys to do, which is to turn it upside down and stamp. Okay, so there's my two coconuts. Now, I'm going to be using an aqua painter, a water painter for this, and I'm going to be picking up some of my brown from my stamp. I'm just making a little puddle of it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in a circle motion and add brown in the center of our coconut. It doesn't need to be dark brown, and it doesn't need to be a lot of water. You just kind of want the essence of brown, okay? So I'm going to do more water than I am paint here for this one, because last time I got it so dark, I wasn't very happy with it. So I'm bringing water. Let's pull in a little bit more brown to kind of give it the illusion of shade. Now, this is regular cardstock. If you mess with this too much, it's going to start peeling. And mine is starting to peel. And when I say peel, I mean the fibers of the paper are starting to clump up. So I've got to stop. But I think this is fine. It doesn't need to be super dark. Okay. So that's what I mean by like the essence, the shading of the center of the coconut. Okay. So that's it for the coconut. And we're not done with the aqua painter. We're gonna kind of give this a watercolor look to it. We're gonna stamp the leaves in Granny Apple Green. So we need 4 leaves. So this is what you can do. Ink up the leaves in Granny Apple Green and stamp. Four sets. And then I like to take my aqua painter or my water painter and just kind of add a little bit of water. It's okay if it goes out of the lines, because we're going to die cut it. And I just want to give it a little bit more softer look, a little more watercolor look. The other thing you can do is take your water painter and add water right to your stamp before you stamp it. And that's going to make it even more watery looking. Like I'll just stamp off here so you can see how it made it really watery. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with our flowers. So we're going to take Flirty Flamingo ink. I feel like I am squeezing really hard and I feel like hardly any water is coming out of this brush. I should find my new aqua painters because I feel like this one maybe isn't on its best game. Okay, so I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo ink and the set of 3 flowers. They're all one stamp. I told you we have 2 dies that cut out the flowers, so that's really helpful. And I'm going to take my aqua painter and I'm just going to kind of brush. And that's going to kind of make my edges softer. See how my edges are just a little bit softer? I'm going to pick up some color and just kind of brush in color to my flowers. I just don't want it to be like a super sharp edge. So we're going to do this one more time. And again, with the water painter, we're just going to kind of soften. And the nice thing is, you know, water is not going to hurt your stamps. So you're not hurting your stamps by doing this. Okay. And then we're just going to pick up some color. Picked up a lot of color there. And we're just kind of giving it a nice light wash. Okay. And then I'm going to take my, Daffodil Delight again. And I'm just going to add some pink. Add some yellow tones to the flowers. Just in some places. Okay, so now we've kind of got this 2-tone color. All right. Clean off my brush. Clean off my stamps. And then we will die cut. Okay. So time to die cut our different pieces here. So, like I mentioned before, there are 2 leaf dies and 2 sets of 3 flowers. There's also 2 individual flowers if you want more big flowers. I just want to see if I can get all of these to die cut at the same time, which I can, so that's good. So we're going to put these up on here. And with magnetic plates, it's so funny. People always tell me, it's like, the dies are jumping. And I always say, stop resisting the magnet. Just go with the magnet. So if my magnet is pulling to one side, I move my cardstock over. Or I even move it to a completely different place on the plate until I've got it so the magnets aren't pulling. Okay, so there's my flowers and my leaves. We'll run that through. And then we need to run the leaves one more time. So we'll move them over. I can't see my comments. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. If you're just joining me. Okay, so there's my flowers and leaves. Let's pull these off and keep them together as best we can. Set them over here. I think I lost one. I did. Okay, and now it's time to cut our coconuts. And this time we're not going to do the embossing, right? Because we don't want the citrus. We just want the round shape. So center those and die cut. All right, so we are almost done, but we have to do a little bit more trick. Little final piece to make this actually look like a coconut. Okay, so I didn't figure this out until I was looking at the sample that I was casing from the Artisan. Oops. Just put these back in here so we don't lose any pieces. But the coconut has this kind of tip at the end, a little fuzzy tip, right? They like kind of come to a point and they're fuzzy. So we're going to try and kind of create that effect just by pulling in some of our ink and just kind of making this into a fuzzy point. Okay, just the illusion of the end of a coconut. That's it. That's all we did. And then I'm going to kind of trim some of this excess paper or this excess white space around the coconut. I'm going to trim it down just a tad. So I'm going to just kind of come in here. And this is going to make it more cone shape. Okay. And I'm just going to go around and really accentuate this shape here at the end. So it is more like a point. Okay. So there's our coconut. All right. So we are almost done. We do need to die cut one more thing, and that is the word aloha. Oh, and we also need to die cut these leaves. So let me show you. So we are going to die cut the words aloha. I'm going to flip my plate over. My plate is so dirty, you guys, but it's still very functional. So the new alphabet a la mode dies. And we're going to do A-L-O-H and then another A. Aloha. We just want to make sure that they don't overlap. And then for the leaves, we're going to use the Forever Flourishing dies. And we're going to be using these two pieces here. this one, which reminds me of, you know how the young coconuts that are growing, like the little seed pods? That's what that reminds me of. And then some of those leaves. Okay. And we're going to bring our plate in, our machine in, and die cut these real quick. Just want to make sure your alphabet letters don't overlap because you can ruin them if you do. Very frugal. What? Who's frugal? Oh, the ink on the stamp. Well, why not? Why not? Okay. So we got all of our letters. Let's put our dies away so we don't lose any of our precious letters. And then our leaves. Okay, move this heavy machine out of the way one more time. Put our letters away. And I've been trying to be very good about keeping these all organized and nice and easy to find for my next time. So there we go. Oh, come on. And then these. All right. Okay. I think we've got everything, guys. Now for these two pieces, we are going to do a little bit of watercolor painting and pull in some of that green. So get your aqua painter out one more time. I don't think it's called an aqua painter. I think it's called the new ones are called. Oh, I see, Eva. I see. Okay, so I'm going to I picked up some ink onto my brush and I'm just going to paint my leaves. And again, I do want this to appear as if it's watercolor. So I'm going to leave some white showing. My little young coconuts. Seeds, pods, whatever. I think these are the male coconuts that do these little seed pod things. So not a lot of color, just a wash, really. Oh, yeah, there's 3 different places that I'm streaming to. And so people are chit-chatting from all different places. Facebook and YouTube. So if I'm reading comments that you're not seeing, it's because they're from a different destination. All right, so we've got our base, which is Tahitian Tide, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to put our embossed piece of Sweet Citrus cardstock down. And it's just insane how we've turned this orange or lemon into a Hawaiian coconut card. And again, this is cased from an Artisan, and I just kind of put a few tweaks of it into my own kind of design here. And then the first being this vellum piece instead of the fabric, or I don't even think she used ribbon. I think she used fabric of some kind bunched up in the back. But I thought, oh, I can use vellum in the same way and soften the back and kind of blend that in so that you can't really see that it's citrus. You know, you've got the illusion of the embossing, but it's not very noticeable. Okay, so we're going to be layering these coconuts. This is going to be our back coconut, and behind it, we're going to put these leaves and what I'm calling coconut seeds pods back behind. So I'm going to kind of make a bunch out of them, and I'm going to use glue dots to kind of hold everything together. And it's okay if things don't want to stay together very well. Oops. I ripped my coconut pod, seed pod. All right, so I'm just going to kind of bundle these together, put some glue dots back behind my coconut here. And then we're going to stick this to our coconut like so. And then we're going to stick this here on our card. Okay. And then for these guys, we're going to do more glue dots. Glue dots. So we've got 2 sets of leaves here. They're going to go to the side, and they're going to go one right behind the other, and they're going to go back behind this coconut. So kind of layered like so. You want to make sure that you're not going off the edge. So you can either bring up your leaf and tuck them back like that, or bring it down, but you just want to make sure you don't go off the edge of your card. And then this guy, he's going to be our front coconut, and I'm going to pop him up on dimensionals. So grabbing my dimensionals. And we're going to just kind of layer him up over front of our other coconut. So what other fruits, what other things could these citrus be? I was thinking kiwi, but the kiwi is kind of an interest, like the center's kind of intricate. But what other fruits, or maybe not a fruit, maybe it's a gem, maybe it's a rock that's broken open and then there's gems inside. Like what else could we do with these citrus? Can you think of anything? You guys are the masterminds that think of all of the clever alternatives. Or have you seen an alternative online that someone else has done that you could share with us? I always love finding alternative ideas of how to stretch my stamps or the dies. So I'm just putting my flowers on dimensionals and gluing them down. Just layers. I want to do bunches of 3, and I already see that I'm missing a flower. Bunches of 3. Where did my 3rd flower go? Any ideas? I think the blogs, I think they have like a blog hop, but you have to go to their own pages. But I know that Stampin' Up has a Facebook group that they get posted on. So I usually see them on Facebook through Stampin' Up. I think they post them on Instagram. So I would search for Stampin' Up because their main page should have, I'm looking for the flower that's lost. I lost a flower. They should have a, oh well, we're going to just do 2 flowers, I guess, because we lost our 3rd. So I'm going to move this flower over here because I feel like it needs to kind of hide there. So yeah, so that's where I find them, is through Facebook, but I know that they have Facebook, Instagram, and then their own blog. So I'm going to be adhering Aloha to the top, and it's going to kind of be tucked underneath the foliage and the coconuts, and it's just kind of, it's not the focal point. It's kind of subtle in the background, and that's why I love it. I love the layering. Like, you know what it is, even though some of the letters and stuff are kind of hidden, you still know what the word is. And this is also where I varied from the artisan. She did not have the word aloha. You could also do mahalo for thanks, or any other kind of word. Aloha. Okay, so it's kind of floating up there. Aloha. So then we're going to get another, you can just use the same scrap we've been using. And I'm going to stamp enjoy the sweeter things in life, because if you're in Hawaii and you're sipping out of a coconut and you're on the beach listening to the waves, you are enjoying the simpler things of life. Like you are living the life. So enjoy the sweeter things in life. And then we will just trim this down to the length that we want. And we will stick it to the bottom of our card. So I'm just going to use my trimmer real quick and just trim this down. This is usually how I make my little labels, is I just stamp and then just trim it down to the size that I need. That is usually the route I'm taking. And again, we're going to banner our edges. This time I'm just going to use my scissors and just cut up the center and then go from the corners and meet in the center. Like so. This is definitely not going to be if you care about it being perfect, this is not the route you want to take, but you can use a banner punch for that. And then I'm just going to pop this up on dimensionals. One more. Okay. And then I'm just going to stick this down below my coconuts, and then I'm going to embellish using, let me bring my original in here. I'm going to embellish using brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Now, you wouldn't think that metallic dots would go with an aloha card, but these nice like nickel brushed color, it goes really, really nice. I really like it. So I'm just going to take some and put it around. Oh, and then last but not least, we're going to add a little bow, because you know me and bows. And I have to show off my new tool. My friend, my team member, Elizabeth Hightower, she's in Texas. Her husband made these one year for a craft fair, and because he's handy dandy. And they put these little, non-skid little things on the bottom, and then these dowels will pull out and you can make a bigger bow. You have different options. And so I'm going to do it the way that she showed us how to do it on our retreat that we did. So if I remember correct, so she does her bows, she says to do them upside down. So this is technically the top of the bow, but we're going to do it upside down. So we're going to take our two pieces like this, and we are going to, and I'm left-handed. But she said, go over with one and bring it through. So let's try this. Bring it through like this. Okay. And then you bring it back forward and you tie a knot. Like, find the center and pull tight. And then if you pull up, you have this adorable and perfect little bow. Look at that. I did it. I probably didn't do it right because I'm left-handed. So I'm sorry, Elizabeth, if I didn't do it right. But thank you so much for my new toy. I love it. And look how pretty and beautiful that bow is, you guys. You don't have to try and fuss and make it like untwist itself. And then I always use glue dots for my ribbon and my twine. Just make it smaller if it's got to be on a smaller bow. And then I just popped it there. And then you can trim these down if you don't like them that long, but I kind of like the long look, kind of wispy look. Look at the coconuts. So I really like the lighter center. This one's very dark. That was my first attempt. This is my second attempt. So isn't that the cutest card? I love it. So fun. Love this citrus set. Okay. Next card. Or actually, it's not a card. This is the 3D. 3D. You know, I can't resist a good 3D. I have to do it. And I found these margarita, Island Margarita pocket backs. Now, these were, I think I ordered them online. You can get, whenever they have their pocket backs on sale for like $5 for $8, I usually pick them up because they're just a good deal. And so, yeah, so we're going to make a margarita shadow box. Isn't that the cutest thing? Sending you a big squeeze. I put my little lemon in there for my margarita, and then I combined it with another set, another bundle called Nothing's Better Than, because it has our fun little cocktail there. We're going to use the word cocktail out of the dies, and we're going to make this cute box. But let's go ahead. The most complicated part of it is the shadow box. So let's get that out of the way, and then we can focus on decorating. Okay. So let me tell you the supplies you need for this. And if you're part of my newsletter, you will get the PDF tutorial on these with the link to the replay and a link to all the supplies. And I kind of wrote myself a little note here at the top. Let me grab my scoring. I think my scoreboard's going to work better for this. So let me grab it. It's on the other side of the room. And I should say that my internet better be amazing because I am actually connected, wired into our internet for my streaming service. And then I've prioritized Wi-Fi for my phone. And I'm supposed to be at the fastest speed that Charter can give me. So I better be amazing. That's all I'm saying. Me too, Karen. I really love shadow boxes. I really like making them like sink into the shadow box. I feel like they're secure. They're not going to fall out. That's my favorite. So shadow box, if you've never made one before, get ready. These are awesome. So cardstock. This is Daffodil Delight. This is 8 by 9 1/4. On all four sides, we are going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, and 2 3/4. So we're going to do that on all four sides. 1/2 inch, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, 2 3/4. 1/2 inch, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, 2 3/4. And one more time. 1/2 inch, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, and 2 3/4. Okay. Now on this long side, so on the side that's 9 1/4 inch long, we're going to do 2 more score marks. We're going to score at 3 1/4, but we're only going to go down to the second score line. And I know that the lighting is hard to see that second score line, but trust me when I tell you it's there. 1, 2. So you're going to stop at that second score line. And then you're going to go over to the 6 inch mark and do the same thing. Go down to the second score line and then stop. So you can see here, I've created this additional score line. We're going to do that on the same thing on the opposite side. So 3 1/4 down to the second score line, 6 down to the second score line. Okay. And like I said, if you're part of the newsletter, you're going to get these dimensions in a newsletter. I'm going to send you a tutorial later this week. So, okay. I like to start at the where this extra score line is because it kind of helps me make sure I'm cutting at the right place. So on this side, you're going to cut down to that score line, and then you're going to cut diagonal to the next score line. Okay. So I've made that little diagonal. Okay. And then on this side, I'm going to cut all the way down there, and I'm going to cut this off. So this whole rectangle here for every side can be cut off. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to make a little flap. and I'm going to miter this. So this is going to be like a little tab. So for me, the best and easiest way sometimes is to just write it down or just color it in. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to go diagonal here. I'm going to make my little tab here, and I'm going to cut up here. So all of this is going to be cut out. Okay. So another one here, there, tab, tab, diagonal, and up. So all this, same thing here. So diagonal and tab, tab, all the way up. So all of this. Okay. So then I know, okay, I can just go in with my scissors, cut up, cut this off. I don't need any of this. None of this where I marked it with the pen is going to show. So don't worry about that. Going diagonal in our little tab. Now this part will show, so we want to make sure that we don't have any pen marks showing, but this little tab here will not show. And we just want to miter that. Okay. I don't know if this was helpful or more confusing, but you just basically want to cut down that score line, do a diagonal, and then cut down all the way to that little tab. Cut straight down right here. Take that whole section off, make a little tab, and one more time. Go up and up, diagonal, let's cut this off and make our little tab. Okay, now you got to cut off all this pen. I can't have any pen showing here or else it's going to show on the diagonal. Okay, so that's it. Now we've got this funky looking shape, right? So we have to score and burnish all of the score lines, fold and burnish all the score lines. So we're going to just fold over, burnish all of the folds and just fold them in towards the center. Sometimes it's easier to do this before you cut everything out, but and I recommend using tear and tape to put this box together, this shadow box. You can use liquid glue, it's just more messy and takes more time. All right, so on the outside, this is the outside of the box, we are going to use tear and tape, and we're going to put tear and tape along the 4 sides on the last tab. And then we're also going to put tear and tape on the 4 little tabs. Now you can see, look how, now I know this is going to be left-handed, but when you're doing tear and tape, put one finger at the end where you want to tear and hold it down. That way it does not tear your paper and take your paper with it. So just put your finger down where you want to tear it and it will tear off and it won't tear your paper. That's my little trick. All right. Now flip it over, and where the diagonal cut is, you remember that diagonal cut we made on all the corners? You're going to put tear and tape on the inside. Now it doesn't matter if your tear and tape goes over the score line. It just matters if the tear and tape goes over the diagonal cut. So just put some tear and tape along all of those diagonals. Okay. So 4 diagonal corners on the inside and all the sides and the little tabs on the outside. Now, when you're assembling this, you want to do the shorter tabs first. Okay, so I'm going to take the backing off of my tear and tape here. And I always come at it from the side because it comes off better when I pick it at the side. Okay, so we're going to fold this in on itself, and you want this tab, this edge, to be flush with the side, with the bottom side, and that is going to make, see how it lays flat? That is going to make a rectangle. So I've just laid it flat, okay? And we can tuck those tabs in. We're not ready to glue those down yet, but we're going to take the backing off of the opposite side. And let's take the backing off of these two just to make our lives easier. So let's show you again. So if you fold this flat like this and you fold this over, it should be nice and flush and make a perfect rectangle. It's always easier to adhere things down when you can do it flat. Now pull the side little diagonal tabs backings off. And now we're going to do the sides. So tuck in your two tabs there, peel off the backing on one side. Thank you. Okay, now you're going to fold it up. Well, let's do our little thing again. This side's a little trickier because you've got to get your little side tabs in. So you just want the edge to be butted up against that side and push down. And the corners should be sticking to the sides. The tabs are inside. The bottom is sticking to the bottom. Let's do that one more time. Take our adhesive off the side here. So fold up, tuck it in, get that edge all the way to the back and push down. So the corners are sticking, the bottom is sticking, everything's sticking. You've got this nice sturdy box where your little margarita is going to fit nice and snug inside. Little hand sanitizer margarita. Okay, that's it. We've made our shadow box. That was the hardest part of this thing. Easy peasy. Now we have our little book that it's going to go inside of. This piece is 6 3/8 by 3 7/8, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 3 5/8. Okay, so you've got this little piece that we're going to fold and burnish. And you also need your little tab or your little mechanism to hold it tight. Now you don't have to use cardstock. So I'll show you my finished one. This is just this little pulley tab here that keeps it closed. You don't have to use that. You could use ribbon if you wanted and wrap ribbon around it. But you could also just use a piece of cardstock and make it like a cute little book. So the piece of cardstock is 3/4 inch by 3 1/4, and it's scored at 1/2 inch and 1 3/8. So I've just folded along those score lines. Okay. So use your tearing tape or use your Seal Plus or use your liquid glue and put some adhesive on the inside of your book as shown here. Now don't go all the way to the edges because there is a slight border all the way around. So I made the mistake of putting adhesive all the way to my edge, which was not good. So don't do that. Okay. And then I also am going to be adhering my 1/2 inch up to that 1/2 inch score line. So that short tab, I'm going to be adhering that to the inside of the book. So I'm just going to put some tearing tape on that. Peel off the backing if I can. There we go. I have no nails right now, so I know the struggle is real. So peel off the backing, and we are going to stick our little shadow box. Oh, no, not yet. We got to stick our tab. So our tab's going to go right inside and just line up that score line with the edge of the box. And then we're going to put this in. Make sure you've got it centered, lined up against that edge, the center edge, and then glue that into our book. And this is using Parakeet Party cardstock. I should have told you that. I apologize. Okay, so now we've got our book. Then I took a piece of DSP. Now this is the Hostess paper in the mini catalog, I believe. Yeah, Hostess paper. Flowers and More. It is only available to Hostess rewards. So meaning if you have an order of $150, you get 10% in it from that total order in free product. So if you have a $150 order, you get $15 in free stuff. Well, you can actually get this paper, which is $18 using your Hostess rewards. That's the only way to get this paper. I hope that makes sense. But you basically have to have Hostess rewards to buy the paper with. So for me as a demonstrator, right, when I go and I put in my order as a demonstrator, I also get Hostess rewards. That's why Stampin' Up blows my mind, because not only do I get the 25% discount on my order, but when I hit Hostess rewards, they give those to me too on a regular order. So if my order is 150, I'm going to get Hostess rewards. I'm going to get 25% off, and the Hostess rewards are before my 25% discount. So 150 retail, 25% off of that, plus my $15 in free stuff. It's just insane, you guys. Stampin' Up is so generous, and the demonstrator starter kit is just the way to go. It is just the way to go. All right, so this piece of DSP is 3.5 by 2 3/8, and this piece of Daffodil Delight is 3 5/8 by 2 1/8. So it's 1/8 of an inch bigger. Oh, thanks, Donna. Okay, so we're going to put the DSP. I love this striped DSP, by the way. So cute. And we are going to adhere this to the front of our book. Of our little, I'm running out of liquid glue. Of our little book here. Isn't that cute with the stripes? I love it. Okay, it's like a little party book. Okay, so then we're going to take a scrap of basic white and we are going to die cut 2 labels. I have this label on the inside and this label on the outside because unfortunately this label is just a tiny bit too skinny for this sentiment. So I had to find a bigger label. So I'll show you what I used here. So I used this label, right? Yes. This is a new label set. I love it. It's called Something Fancy Dies. It comes in a bundle with a bunch of awesome sentiments. And this is in the mini catalog. I'll show you because you may have missed it, but I am a sucker for labels. So I'm always looking for, it's part of the Fancy Flora suite. So this pretty display here. It's called Something Fancy, and these are all the dies and labels that you get with this bundle. So you can get the bundle. You can actually get this entire suite. This is a suite. You can actually get the entire suite, which is everything on this page right here in one easy order number right here, 139.50. So you can get this whole thing with this order number, or you can pick and choose whatever you want from the whole suite. So you can get this bundle, Something Fancy bundle, for $45.75 just by itself. If you didn't want the flowers or you didn't want the paper or whatever, right? But if you wanted the whole dang thing because you were in love with it, you could just get it with one order number. So this is the largest of the labels in the Something Fancy dies. And then this one is again using that one of my favorite die sets, which is the scalloped contour dies. So we're going to cut that label out as well. And we're also going to need a scrap to do our lemon and our little margarita drink. So we'll do that here next. So let's go ahead and die cut the labels. And then I can maybe fit the margarita cocktail, whatever we want to call it, whatever we're calling it. It's a fiesta, Terry. It is a fiesta, a margarita fiesta. Okay, so there's my 2 labels. Ooh, this would be a fun swap idea for the retreat for Friday night because we have we're having an in-person retreat in March outside of Ellensburg, Washington, at a retreat center. And Friday night is taco bar and swaps and fun games. And people who want to participate in a swap can do something like that. So wouldn't these be great for a swap? Wouldn't they be so fun? Love that idea. Okay, so I have this scrap of cardstock here, and I'm going to stamp my margarita. Oh, my margarita is already out here. So I'm going to use the Nothing's Better Than stamp set. Get my little margarita and stamp that in Memento black ink because I'm going to use blends to color. Okay. And then I want this lemon for the inside. So we're going to stamp that as well. Oops. And we're not going to do that in Memento. We're going to do that in crushed curry. So I'm going to reposition this because now all I want is just this wedge, just this one lemon wedge. So how do I want to put this? I don't care if this one's off. Okay. So I'm going to use crushed curry for the rind. So I'm just going to ink up this one rind. So crushed curry for the rind. Okay. And then Daffodil Delight for the inside. So let's get this and we'll just put it here because all I want is this little half wedge. And stamp that. I didn't do a very good job, but it's okay. It's still going to work. It's great. Okay, so there's my lemon and my margarita. And now we are going to color the margarita. Look at me with my Mexican accent. Okay, Hispanic accent, not Mexican. I'm using light Daffodil Delight to kind of fill in my drink. And I'm also going to use the light for the inside of my lemon there. And then I'm going to use dark Daffodil Delight for the rind. And then I'm going to use Parakeet Party for the umbrella. So I'm just going to do dark and then light. Okay. And then I'm going to use light smoky slate to just do some shadows. On my glass here. Okay, just to kind of give it some dimension. Oops, went out of the lines. And then wink of Stella to make my glass nice and sparkly. Okay, I can even do it on my lemon. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and die cut these two pieces. I'm not going to do the embossing piece of this just because I don't really think it needs it for this one. But I'm going to grab my Nothing's Better Than. These ones are actually called, these are in the main catalog because they were new a few years ago. Love You More Than dice. So we've got that for this. Oh, we also need cocktails. So let's go ahead and grab that. The word cocktails we're going to cut out of Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then we need our coconut dies, which are hiding from me at the moment. There they are. Why did I call them coconut dies? Now I can only see coconuts. I mean the citrus dies. Jeez Louise. My brain, folks. We don't know how it works. It's a mystery. Okay, so we're going to die cut these. My chair keeps sinking. Okay. How many people will be at the retreat? 24, including me. 24, including me, which is just crazy and so exciting. Crazy to think. Who'd have thunk it? All right, I'm going to cut out my word cocktails. And I'm going to try and cut out the lemon at the same time. Look at me multitasking. All right, here we go. Run all that through. Oh, this shifted on me. No shifting allowed. Okay, so there's our margarita and our lemon and our cocktail. Okay. I can throw all these scraps away. Oh, I missed that last time. So I missed the dot for the eye on my last one, but I see it and I'm going to try and keep it this time. It's a little dot. It's its own separate little piece. So we'll try not to lose it this time. All right. So cocktail. So we need to pop this up on dimensionals so that our little clasp thing can go behind. So we're going to put dimensionals on the four corners. Don't put any dimensionals in the middle or else your little clasp won't work because it'll be in the way. The dimensional will be in the way of it. So 4 dimensionals on the 4 corners. And we can actually put our clasp down in the center and then glue this over top if you want, or you can wait and slide it in after. But see how you leave yourself room for that little clasp to slide in and out. Now we're going to get our margarita. Trying to throw away all these little pieces. Get my 2 dimensionals there. Stick those on. Stick this down at the bottom. Okay, and then cocktails. Going to take, spelling the word fiesta would be fun too. But I love the little pun of, here's a little squeeze, I think it's called. Oh, sending you a squeeze. Like a hug, except I'm sending you a margarita. And squeeze too, because if you think about the hand sanitizer, you have to squeeze the bottle. So it plays in like so many different ways, which I love. Okay. So I should have used my adhesive sheet, but I'm just going to do tiny little dabs of liquid glue all the way around. Okay. And I just put mine on at an angle just because this is a short little label, skinny label. So not the whole word won't fit on there, but majority of it will. And then we've got our little dot, which I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of. And then I'm just going to stick it down. See me? See how I am? Look at that. That way I don't have to fight with it. Okay, maybe I have to fight with it a little bit. But a lot less than if I was going to do that a different way. Okay, so there's the outside. Now let's open. And for the inside, we're going to put sending you a big squeeze right in the center. Cute. Okay. Oh, there's fibers on this. I was like, why is it making a messy? It's because there's fibers from my baby wipes. It's okay. That's all right. May have had a margarita when I was making this. That'll be my excuse. All right, and then we're going to adhere this. And I just want to trim, actually, I want to trim off the excess of this because I just feel like there's a lot of white. Because I just kind of stamped a little low in the rind, but I just want to take the excess white off of it. Put that there. And then we can put this on the inside of our box. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. And then, of course, you can embellish. I have some gold sequins using the pastel adhesive back sequins. I love these ones. And there's this pretty gold. And we will put some embellishments on here. Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. Isn't that the most adorable thing? I love it. I should have put my dies away, huh? What do you guys think? Is this a sleeper set or what? Do you feel like it's a sleeper set, or do you feel like a lot of people are using it? What are your thoughts? Are you like, yeah, this is added to my list, or yes, I loved it from the first moment I saw it and I got it? Or are you more like, yeah, you've kind of sold me on it. Not sure I need it, but it's cute. Like, where are you at? Where are you at with this bundle? And I love it. Like I said, you get the 3 pieces of the bundle. And then you can use it and tie it into other sets. Now, I will tell you, I don't have it. I don't have the paper, but there is a DSP that has lemons. Let me grab my catalog so I can show you. It's out of the Tea Boutique. Did you guys know that? You probably already did. I'm probably the last person to told me or to tell you. Sold me on it. Yay! Donna says I have it and I love it. Nice. So if we go to the paper section, in the Tea Boutique, it's 6x6 designer series paper. There is a paper that has lemons. So you could use this lemon set with the Tea Boutique suite, which is page 12. Which, if you guys believe it, I don't have this set. But wouldn't that be cute to just like some lemon tea? Oh, there's even a little lemon here. But you could do the lemon embossing folder. You could use that beautiful lemon paper with the embossing folder. Like I said, you can do cocktails with it, margaritas. You could do lemons for your tacos, limes for your tacos. So it could go with the taco set. I just feel like this can be a staple for so many things. And then, of course, we did the Hawaiian. So we did the coconut version of this. So we've made it into a cocktail party. And then where's my other one? My other one that I absolutely love. I lost it. There they are. Bright birthday colors. I hope you guys fell in love with these cards. I really enjoyed playing with this suite or this bundle more than I thought I would. If you guys have any questions, if you need me, let me know. Please don't wait till Tuesday for you to be like, I want the starter kit. Don't wait till Tuesday at 10 p.m. Let's get it done this weekend. So if there's any issues, we can call Stampin' Up! On Monday to get that all squared away. Let's get you squared away before the end of celebration on Tuesday, because I really feel like it's going to be a mad dash to the end. And I really want to save you that panic. As always, I'm here. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can message me on Facebook. And just thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys take care. Oh yeah, hashtag. Thank you. Woo! Woo! This is going to be like the 3rd time I forget the giveaway tool. So let me share my screen and we'll do the giveaway. Thank you so much, Donna, for reminding, or Janie for reminding me. Okay, let me share, present, share screen, window. No, Chrome tab. Okay. You guys ready? There are 19 entries. Those of you who did hashtag sweet citrus, ready to go. Here we go. One of you is going to get the creativity delivered. Eva! Woo, woo! Eva, you are our winner. Congratulations. Okay, so I'm going to be sending you. this fun creativity delivered kit with the tutorial, which you should already have because you're a team member. That is another thing I do. I give my team all my tutorials for free. So I'm going to be sending you this kit. Yay! Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great week. We will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.